What's up, guys? It is Chris back for Watch Chris. Today I have 3 Bulovas to show you guys. I have 3 different colors of the newly released Surveyor. This is a watch that came out a few months ago from Bulova. It's an everyday watch. It's a dress watch. It reminds you of some very popular watches from some very popular brands. However, it is not a copy of any of those watches. It has a very original case. It has a beautiful dial, which is also very original. There's some elements on there that you don't really see from other brands, especially at this price point. A very beautiful watch for a very good price. So let's take a look at 3 different versions of Bulova's new Surveyor. Starting off with my favorite out of the 3, this is the maroon dial. It gets gold tone indices and hands and a gold tone crown. This is not a two-tone, it's a stainless steel watch. However, you do get that gold crown. No one would mistake this for a two-tone watch. You have a 39mm case, and the case on this watch is very interesting. It's very angular. You have polishing throughout, except on the case back. There is some brushing elements on there, and then of course brushing on the bracelet, which has center links that are polished. So a lot of polish on this watch. You can see from the case profile, it's very angular. You have faceted edges, but they are all polished. So this is a very bright watch when it's on your wrist. It's a dressy watch, so that kind of makes sense. Also, the bracelet is polished on the sides, as you can see right there. You have a butterfly clasp, and that is signed with the Bulova logo. You have a display case back. The display case back is a mineral crystal. On the front, you are getting a sapphire crystal with that cyclops right there over the date window at the 3 o'clock. So very classic looking everyday watch is what they were going for. You're getting a Bulova Miyota movement inside here. It is an 8215. It does hack when you pull out the crown, and it does hand wind. So very good for an 8 series, which I like to see. The 12 o'clock index on this watch is the Bulova logo. It is, of course, their tuning fork, the same thing that you get on the crown. It's signed on the rotor and on the case back as well. You get a sunburst dial on here, a white minute track that is on the chapter ring. However, you also get a minute track on the dial, and that is debossed into the dial. It adds an element that is different from what you normally see for a minute track. And because it is lower or imprinted into the dial or pressed into the dial, it changes color a little bit. So it could look black or it could look the exact same color as the dial. The dial here is a maroon color. You have a white Bulova logo right at the top, and right at the bottom it says automatic, and then it says 21 jewels. I could do without the number of jewels on here because that's not incredibly important, but you do get a sunburst dial. So it's actually a really interesting, beautiful dial on here that looks very rich and a little bit more expensive than it actually is. The cyclops is on the top side of the glass, so that is something to note. It's not on the bottom side, and you could feel it when you put your hand over it. Again, this gets a very nice bracelet. You do have solid end links, quick release. It's a butterfly clasp. It's a 3-link bracelet with the center links being polished. You have a butterfly clasp that is signed with the tuning fork right there, push button release, and it is made out of stainless steel. All of the links are solid, of course, and it looks really good on the bracelet. Actually, that's how I would buy this watch. In fact, I would buy the maroon dial version. However, this is the green dial version, which almost comes off as black. It's a very deep green color. This has a sunburst pattern as well. It's a 39mm watch, like I was mentioning before. You have a flat side on the side of the watch, so it does measure in at 39mm. It probably would measure in at 40mm if that was rounded out. So it does make it wear a little bit smaller and visually feel and look a little bit smaller than 40mm. So I would say this is a 40mm watch that was made to look like and feel like a 39mm watch and measure as one as well. You have a 5.8mm crown that is signed with the tuning fork logo. You have a lug to lug of 45.8mm. That is on the strap. On the bracelet, it's a little bit bigger because you do have female end links on here. However, they don't fold all the way down because of the nature of the lugs and how they are cut off. It does not fold all the way down, so the lug to lug on here is just about 52mm if you include the extremities of that bracelet, although it doesn't wear like that. On the strap, which I'll show you in just a second, it wears like a 45.8mm, somewhere in that range. Thickness on this watch is 11.5mm thick. That's including the display case back, sapphire crystal, and all of that good stuff. So it's obviously a pretty thin watch. 30 meters of water resistance on this watch. I would love to see 50 meters of water resistance, or maybe even 100 meters of water resistance on this watch, but I get it, it is a dress watch, so it kind of makes sense. You do get lume on the hands, and the debossed minute track on this watch is probably the best out of the three. You could see it the best. It looks really good and actually changes color on this watch from basically the pistachio color of the dial to black. This one, you definitely see the sunburst pattern as well as you can see it on that maroon dial, which looks fantastic. This is a brown leather strap that is a calf leather strap that is embossed to look like crocodile, and then you have a very nice buckle on here. Price on this watch, I believe on the bracelet, is $475. This one with the maroon dial currently is on sale for one reason or another for, I think it's around $356 on the bracelet, which is an excellent price. And then I believe this one with the green dial is at $475. I think that was the price. But all three of them, very good looking watches. And the fact that this one is the most affordable out of the three is kind of impressive. That maroon dial, I really like it. I think it looks really rich and expensive. And the fact that it's the cheapest out of three kind of doesn't make sense, but that's the one I would go for on the bracelet. On my wrist today, I have another incredible Bulova. This is the Bulova Marine Star, and this is the Precisionist version. So this gets a beautiful sweep second on it. It's actually smoother than the watches that we're looking at today with an automatic movement. So this gets a very high beat rate, so you get a very smooth sweep of the seconds, 200 meters of water resistance, ceramic bezel, really good looking watch. There's the pistachio on my 7.5 inch wrist. You definitely get some OP vibes from Rolex, a little bit Oyster Perpetual. You can definitely see that. It wears really nice at 39mm. Again, this has a 45.5 or 45.8mm lug to lug. And then of course it's a little bit bigger on the bracelet version because of the end links, but I'll show you the other two versions. And there is the green dial. So this is a very dark green dial on my 7.5 inch wrist. And you can see that it is green when I move it around in direct sunlight. This looks like a green dial. However, in most normal day-to-day lighting indoors, it comes off almost as a dark green black dial. And my favorite out of the trio is definitely this maroon dial with that beautiful red maroon sunburst dial, the gold indices in hands and crown. It's not a two-tone, which I normally would not like. However, you just get enough gold in this that makes it look a little bit richer, a little bit more expensive, but nothing too crazy that would rub off over time. I like that. So I think this looks really good on my 7.5 inch wrist, and this is the one that I would choose. And especially since right now they have it on sale, I think this is a definite winner. Well, there you go. There is a little bit of lume on the watch, just on the hour and the minutes hand. No lume on the indices, which are applied. Those are slightly faceted indices that are polished. There's no lume on the second hand. However, this is a dress watch. The fact that it has a little bit of lume is great, so you could actually see what time it is in the dark. I think Bulova and Citizen have been doing some pretty incredible things over the past few years. The Surveyor has been around for a while in different iterations with different names and all of that good stuff. However, they are sort of honing in on what they know and what they're doing well, and they're listening to their audience, and they're coming out with watches like this. So watches for enthusiasts, people who want automatic movements, bracelets that are nice, you know, beautiful dials, things like that. So it's not an incredibly expensive watch. It's not an elaborate watch. It's not going to break any sort of design records, but it's really straightforward, a really good looking functional watch that is well made, and it gets a automatic movement, which is pretty cool, and it's a Miyota, which is great as well. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I think for the starting price of around $350 something, this is a phenomenal watch from Bulova. And they keep on coming out with watches like this. Seiko would not offer a sapphire crystal on a watch like this at this price range. So I always say that because I believe Bulova and Seiko are sort of head-to-head. Citizen, Bulova, and Seiko, these are three brands that are sort of competing for the same market share. And it's important to notice that you would not get, in this sort of form, from Seiko, you would not get a sapphire crystal. Just want to mention that as well. Guys, tell me what you think down in the comments below. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of the Surveyor and them re-releasing this in this form? 39 millimeters, really a perfect size for most wrists out there. I know there are some people who would rather it be smaller, some people who would rather it be larger, but I think this is sort of in the middle for a lot of people. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.